Hey, Tushar, it's Grant here. It's about 4:15 on Wednesday. I just wanted to go over the design, the thought process behind it, and whatnot. So we were there the other day, and we took elevations. So we used a laser level. So this was 9 inches. This was 11.5 inches. This was around 38 inches. The lower grade in this area. So this shows the difference elevation. So for example, from here to here, the ground drops 2 inches. So the bottom step here is actually 2 inches lower than the bottom step here. Hence, when you build the patio, you typically want it level this way and pitching this direction away from your house. So both sets of steps would be lifted up, disconnected from the house. Put in your patio and put your steps back, and hopefully you can get this step at the same elevation as this step. So we have to check to see if that's possible. But that would be much better, because then you don't have to pitch your patio this direction. You can keep it perfectly level. One sec. Let's get this screen back here. Sorry, there we go. You can keep it perfectly level, going this way, and only pitching one direction away from your house. So anyways, that's one thing to point out. And then the patio would all be built, and the steps would be put back down on top of the patio. So that'd be the concept. So you basically have about a 2.5 foot drop from here to here, and a 2.5 foot drop from here to there, which means that a retaining wall would have to be built roughly 2.5 feet tall along this side, and then another retaining wall that extends from the house over to here, and another retaining wall extends from the house over to here. On top of the retaining wall, to have a clean look, I gave you two different options. So let's just look at this. Let me pull the right picture here. Okay. So this is a bluestone cap. This would go on top of your retaining wall. Imagine this is a retaining wall. Imagine if it's 2 feet tall. This would go on top of the retaining wall. And then for the patio itself, you could either do blue 60 pavers, which are these larger pavers that are pretty popular. It's going to be less expensive than doing bluestone on top of concrete. So this is one option. And then the other option for your patio would be regular bluestone, which is going to look more like this. That's regular bluestone, which is what I believe you have in the front of your house. Okay, so when we're looking at the design, this whole area in here would all be either bluestone or the blue 60 pavers. Those are the two options. The top of the wall would be that bluestone cap, which is 1 foot wide, that runs all the way around. All right, and then you might need a step here, or you might not. So I left that as kind of unknown. When we looked at the elevations, for right now, it looks like you wouldn't need one, but I'm not 100% sure about that, so that we'd have to look at in person. All right. The challenge here is it's relatively tight, so we'd have to use a smaller machine to get back in here, excavate everything out. You'll notice we stockpiled some topsoil in the back, so we should be able to reuse that to kind of fix the lawn, what's been disturbed. I suggest putting sod in, going around the patio here, so this whole area would get disturbed. And then on the right side of the house, which is not in your proposal, but what you might do is either you just mulch it, or you end up putting like Pachysandra ground cover. So that's like a low maintenance option, but it would be more expensive than mulching it. And then over here, off the end of the driveway, this is the front of your house, then we have to fix the sod in this area as well, because this is our path to get into the backyard with the machines. Okay. The big thing is, as we know, you've got a lot of water on your property. So because you got basically a ton of water under the ground, when that freezes during the winter, it's going to wreak havoc with the patio if the footing is not correct. So the concept would be underneath these walls to have a 3.5 foot deep footing of concrete with rebar, so that these walls would then, if you decide to do bluestone, these walls would actually also support your bluestone patio, because when you put your rebar in and your concrete under your patio, it's actually tied into the wall. So the wall is a structural important item. Under normal conditions, without having a high water table, you could end up just doing like a half of that concrete footing at a much lesser cost. It would save you a few $1,000s if you didn't have to go that deep. But in this situation, I really feel like you should err on the side of caution and go down to frost depth, which is 3.5 feet. Okay. So when we're thinking about that, what could play a role in that is having your two Caltech systems here where the water's gathering. I'm not sure how far those extend underneath this patio. So potentially you might have to kind of have a shallower concrete footing in this area right here to avoid disturbing your gravel pits for your Caltech system, which is your drainage. So that's something else to point out. For the walls themselves, so I'll show you a picture of that. So let's see here. So for the walls themselves, the idea would be to do a fieldstone wall, something similar to this. Okay, and that would be the retaining wall that's essentially act as a retaining wall along this side, and this side. That's exposed from the lawn. If you're looking this way and you're looking towards the house, that's what you would see, because your patio would be lifted above grade. All right. So I'm going to send you two different options, like I said, with two different materials for the patio. In the email, I put the pictures in here as well, and I'm giving you the cost per hour for us having to go to the town back and forth. And then you're still going to have other costs, which you'll notice I listed at the bottom of the proposal. So there's going to be irrigation modifications. Potentially you'll add lighting in here. Obviously, maybe some plants, minimal plantings to kind of soften the patio and also complement the patio. And then again, you might do the ground cover on the side, which I don't have any of those items included, and you'll notice that's listed clearly in the bottom of the proposal. So take a look, let me know what you think. Thanks again for your patience on this. Appreciate all the work in the past. Talk to you soon. Thanks.